This week's episode of The Totally Rad Show is brought to you by Squarespace,
Gamefly,
and GoDaddy.com.
On this week's Totally Rad Show, we're talking about Cop Out and Heavy Rain, and also playing some head games. Head games! Stay tuned.
Three rad chaps were out playing craps when they were zapped to a world without maps. To find their way back, they were required to rap about movie and game scraps while avoiding booby traps. They used their thinking caps to build an iPhone app that would lead to their shack through a secret flap. To avoid a relapse, they decided perhaps they would recap their mishap on The Totally Rad Show.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to The Totally Rad Show, episode number 154. I'm Alex Albrecht.
I'm Jeff Canada.
I'm Ben Trachtenberg.
The Totally Rad Show's your weekly dose of all things rad. We go down to the local t-shirt shop and get our faces printed on our chests.
Or one of us do.
Or actually, how amazing is this, right? It is
It's
amazing. Ben and Lindsay sent these in. I guess they've been getting together to watch the show, and they've loved it so much they decided to make shirts. Favorite part is they made shirts of me for all the guys.
Yeah. I can't wait till
amazing.
Dan and I get our
wear.
I
shirts.
can't wait for you guys to get stopped on the street where people go, is that Alex Albrecht on your chest?
Who are you?
Who are you again?
Do you watch Ignatius too?
Yeah. Have you ever met this guy, Alex?
The funny thing is, honestly, I think you started saying amazing because
I did,
Dan
totally,
always says
totally.
amazing, but
Also-
it's sort of become the thing.
Also, you know how our friend Dennis Claro tries to take credit for sexting?
Yes.
I really feel like Epic came from me. Because I was going to say, you also say
Oh, from
Epic
you
all the
personally.
time from me. And I think that we used to say it on the old Geek Show. We said
Well, speaking of crediting people for things,
right,
we have
all
to
right.
thank.
Yes.
We have to thank some more people.
Yes.
Nick Bremer sent in the intro lyrics that you saw at
Correct.
the beginning of this show.
Congratulations,
So that's
Nick.
the second time we've had user submitted intro lyrics. We love getting those. Please continue to send them in.
Yes.
Fans of Totally Rad Show, but be aware we need 4 stanzas.
Okay.
Yeah.
4 lines per stanza, and only 5 syllables per line.
And now that
one
reminds
rhyming
me-
word.
One rhyming
One
word.
rhyming word, and we like to just take on like one movie or a movie.
Well, be
whatever.
creative, but one
creative.
rhyming word, 4 lines,
Speaking of
4
being
stanzas.
creative, I thought that I didn't realize I was playing you when I was playing Heavy Rain.
You didn't?
I didn't. I
I thought
thought
that was Alex.
You didn't
though.
notice my-
I totally thought that was you. I mean,
I thought that was Jeff. That is Jeff,
It's
right?
me. I think
Yeah.
it's me.
Yeah, I think it's Jeff.
I think the chick is you, though.
No.
So
The
Matt
chick is
looks
the
a lot
chick.
like you,
The
though.
chick,
So
well,
we
the chick
also
might
have
be
to
this guy.
thank Matthew Irwin for
Yes.
sending in the background this week, which we're doing Heavy Rain, and I'm scared or shocked of some
Well,
way about it.
you're an FBI guy. Of course you're
Yes.
scared. Huh? Amazing. Let's get this show.
Amazing. This week in movies, we're talking about Cop Out. Comes from director Kevin Smith. So we've talked about Kevin Smith before on the show and how he was a part of that 90s independent film movement, bringing independent films to the mainstream, as well as a lot of kids going to film school, known for his writing and directing all of his movies with loquacious, verbose characters, making pop culture references like we had never seen before in movies, somewhat instigating Academy Award nominated or winning movies like Juno and the writings of Diablo Cody. He's
Has he
never
directed? I was just about to
a
say.
movie that he has
Perfect.
not written himself.
Until now!
Until now. However, a much written about trial to make a Fletch movie. And this is
right.
basically him doing a Fletch movie. It's a buddy cop film.
I don't know.
Well, it satisfies
Fletch
that
isn't a buddy cop movie.
Well, it's an 80s detective film, and
Okay.
and I mean, I'm basically saying he sort of this is me doing a Fletch movie.
Ah.
You said that?
Yes.
Oh.
Interesting.
Wow.
So
Well, then I'm gonna say some stuff in my review.
So, it's a buddy cop film that we've seen over and over again, from Beverly Hills Cop to the Lethal Weapon movies, And it is even scored by Harold Faltermeyer, famous for his score in Beverly Hills Cop.
And sounds much like
and
it.
Fletch and Top Gun. I mean, it's the plot of the movie is basically like a sequel to any of those movies that we haven't seen. We follow Bruce Willis and Tracy Morgan as cops that have been together for 9 years as they are on investigation. Jeff, what did you think of Cop Out?
I'm glad we didn't get Kevin Smith's Fletch movie. This is, I was ready to love this. I was amped. I didn't really see any of the trailers. I was excited. I like Kevin Smith movies. I remember we reviewed Zach and Miri Make a Porno, and I found a lot of heart in that, and actually a lot to like about it. And I was ready to go in and laugh my butt off. I'm one of those people that thinks that Tracy Morgan could read the phone book and it would be funny. You know, there's a lot of people that don't like Tracy Morgan, but for me, Tracy Morgan, he just opens his mouth and I'm already laughing. I loved him on Saturday Night Live. But this movie it feels too long, too slow, and the jokes are, as my dad would say, far and few between. You know, there are a few chuckles and laughs, but for the most part, not a good movie. And it pains me to say that because I was really rooting for it, but didn't enjoy much of it.
Yeah, I mean, I kind of feel the same way. You know, there were some moments that were really funny, but for the most part, it seemed a little bit like certain things were happening where I was like, why is this happening? I don't even understand why this would be the thing that is happening in this movie. You know what I mean? And you know, I really like Sean William Scott.
In the Joe Pesci role?
The actor, yeah. No, I thought he was hysterical. He was one of the shining stars in the... There were some legitimate laugh-out-loud moments. The parkour French martial art with jumping and
That was very
flipping.
funny. Anything with parkour
There were,
was funny in this
but
movie.
I agree. It was like there were 5 of those.
Yeah.
And then the rest of the movie was like, this is really just not fun. And it was hard because there could have been so much fun, and there was a lot of really bad acting. Like, I thought the lead bad guy was just really bad. I mean, like hammy bad.
He was chewing scenery like Bazooka Joe.
He was going, this is my Inglourious Bastards. I'm going to be the worst bad guy I've ever seen.
Clearly encouraged by his director to do so. I mean, I think that was the take on that character that everybody was going for.
Either way, this is a pretty
was
disappointing
campy.
movie. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I don't think. Yeah, no. I think
Yeah,
bad.
it's
not
as
like
in-
he walked into the room
was
and went,
being very
No.
goofy.
Yeah.
Well, who knows what?
What did you think, Dan, of the movie?
I mean, I agree with. I mean, I don't want to disagree with you, but I'm saying like I wasn't saying that I think he meant to be delivering a powerful performance, serious performance. I think he knew he wasn't taking it seriously. But even in the joke of it,
he was not good.
not funny.
Yeah.
And that's how I felt about a lot of the movie. I agree with you guys. A few laughs. It's interesting that you said that because I was sort of going in here to say, I think if you like Tracy Morgan, you would probably enjoy this movie.
He's the only
like
funny
Tracy
part.
Morgan, right? I think it's like
It seems like even if you enjoy him, there's not enough
I
left.
guess not. I mean, you definitely
'Cause I enjoy him too, and it wasn't-
If you don't
yeah.
think Tracy Morgan's funny,
Don't
this
see
ain't
this
the movie
no,
for you.
no.
If you do think he's funny.
It still ain't the movie.
You may have a shot. I mean, not here, but maybe.
Yeah.
I mean, I think that's the thing, though, is that even in Beverly Hills Cop in 48 Hours, if you didn't know who Eddie Murphy was, you went and saw the movie and you go, oh my God, this guy, you know?
Right.
And they're kind of good movies on top of that
Yeah.
shtick.
Yeah.
All this had was its shtick, and
There wasn't much shtick, really.
yeah,
No.
it's Kevin Smith's movies and me are sort of like a friend in high school who. Him and I once saw completely eye to eye, and we thought everything was funny. All the same stuff was funny, and now I get on the phone and we can't relate anymore.
Go Butts and Care Bears.
Yeah.
You know what's fun? I was thinking about
Just divergent.
I was thinking about Bruce Willis in this movie, and if they did an episode of Lost where like they get off the island and they go and they make a feature film about what happened to their lives, like Bruce Willis should play Locke.
Yeah.
Like he's the movie star version.
Yeah, that's funny.
You know?
Totally.
Yeah.
Kind of a disappointment.
I think
Massive
big
disappointment.
Yeah. And how do you guys compare it to Pineapple Express, was also a send-up of that 80s.
Well, you know what I liked about this movie? I liked the feel. I loved the score.
Yeah.
And I liked that feel, that nostalgic throwback kind of feel to it. And I think it got that right in a lot of ways, but it just didn't fill the gaps with fun.
For a guy who his writing is so
Much a part of
stylized, his filmmaking is very unstylish, and it is, to the movie's credit a little bit, that it's kind of refreshing to see a movie. If this was made on a film stock from the 80s, it would be an 80s movie. And maybe a few of the pop culture references wouldn't be there, it'd be an 80s movie.
Like
which
a
is
giant
different
cell phone
from
guy.
So, but that's what but Pineapple Express did have a take, was sending up those movies.
Yeah.
But
I prefer that.
In a completely different way.
Yeah, and I prefer that sort of like, homage, as they say.
Right.
You know what I mean? Where it's like, it's
Meta?
not,
Meta?
it's within a review. Where it's like, it's not just a send up, it's also a good movie.
yeah,
Sure.
And it just happens to take its bone structure from those crazy wild 80s movies that we liked.
Right.
Whereas this, I think, just tried to be a crazy wild 80s movie that we liked,
Right.
but didn't know that
Have
we've
a take
progressed.
on it.
This example is a little bit of overkill and doesn't really fit, but it's kind of like, the first sequence of Inglourious Bastards is basically the first sequence of The Good, Bad, and the Ugly, but it's also an amazing sequence to start a movie with.
Right.
So it's a servant of two masters, and it serves them both really well. So it's added on top as frosting rather than all that you're getting is a mouthful of cream. Didn't come out right.
Well, I want to extend this conversation to the 80s buddy cop movie.
So it's almost as if you spent all last week in the 80s, Dan.
It is. Indeed. What do you guys think? What were your favorites of the genre? Now we're seeing this take.
I loved Lethal Weapon.
Take.
Oh,
Yeah.
I love
Lethal Weapon. And I loved Beverly Hills Cop.
Yeah.
I mean, both the ones you mentioned in prepping
Right.
this movie.
Me too.
I
The thing is,
I didn't get 48 Hours. I think I feel like I was a little too young for that when it came out.
I never saw. I've only seen another 48 Hours, which I watched over and over and over.
I know.
again. I've never seen the original.
48 Hours is. I mean, it's a little bit of that threshold because it was like late 70s,
I
right?
think-
Or like
No.
it's
And
firmly
I think
80s.
it was the first. I think it came. Lethal Weapon was '87, so I think that 48 Hours probably initiated this genre, at least in the '80s.
Yeah.
And interestingly, I really prefer Lethal Weapon 2. I think
The second one? Or
second one-
TOO?
Which was the second one? What was the
The
story?
second one was the one that we did an intro of, and the second one, I've often said this on the show, kind of like Rambo, is the one that you remember the franchise by, because First Blood is very different than Rambo, First
Right.
Blood Part
Yeah,
2,
yeah, yeah.
and Lethal Weapon 2 is very funny.
Yeah.
And is the funny buddy cop thing.
Right.
And the
The
first one is
one is
very
like-
dark.
yeah, he's
some
like
se-
Suicide and all
Yeah,
that
yeah,
stuff, yeah.
And the second one had the toilet scene that
Yeah,
we spoofed, but
love
was
it.
amazing
Yeah,
sequence.
yeah.
Joe Pesci.
Right.
Oh, right. Yeah,
all
yeah.
that stuff, and there's like 3 other sequences,
That are
and
like
that's what's
the
so great. And
sequences,
that's
yeah.
what a Cop Out kind of had, was like sequences as opposed to just scene.
Well, it's
like-
interesting because they really don't make those movies anymore.
I mean, I think a recent memory. I really the last two, the 2 Bad Boys films, and really the second one.
I know you're big fans
I
of
didn't see the second one, but I really liked the first one.
Yeah, and that, I mean, you have to, once again, you kind of have to like Martin Lawrence, Will Smith.
Yeah.
But I want to move on to a bit of news. We talked about Christopher Nolan doing the
Overseeing
Superman. Huge news today. A screenwriter, very noted screenwriter in our show and in geek culture, David Goyer, who wrote the first. Actually, kind of was in charge of the Blade movies
And TV show.
He directed the third one, but wrote the first 2.
Yeah.
And wrote Batman Begins and Dark Knight along
co-wrote,
with Christopher Nolan.
And wasn't he
and
involved
his
in Flash
brother.
Forward?
And he was a showrunner on Flash Forward, although
Forward,
he's
yeah.
just left.
Yeah.
And he did a couple of the Invisible and another film. But what do you guys think of? I mean, let me
So
just
he's
say
coming in
that
to write the new
he's writing the new
Superman reboot?
Superman. I will say I do like the Blade, the first Blade movie.
I love the first Blade movie was my first DVD, and I watched the.
It's one of my first DVDs.
I watched the
Interesting.
crap out of that movie.
But the first 10 minutes is like, this is why you have a DVD.
No, that was it. I would
the time.
literally
At the time,
people would
yeah.
come over. I'd be like, I have a DVD.
That
player.
and Terminator
Watch.
2.
Well, Terminator 2 and Matrix and Heat.
Yeah, Matrix.
Well, I think that was
ours.
even before
Yeah.
Matrix.
Yeah.
But I think he's only really been the David Goyer that he's only really earned his name where we revere that name because of his collaborations with Christopher Nolan. So if Nolan's name wasn't attached with his, I'd be pretty nervous. But with that combination, I think those guys geek out and bring out the best.
He's
in each other
perfect. I mean,
right.
a good buddy of mine worked on the Blade TV show with Goyer, and worked very closely. Yeah, I was an assistant writer on that, and so I would pick his brain. I was so into that. I mean, Jeff Johns worked on that show too. Goyer is a comic book geek. I mean, he is. He is tried and true DC fanboy, and also I think a pretty talented filmmaker, and has a pretty good eye for that. So it's a perfect marriage in my estimation, and I think he's, like you said, he already has a relationship with Nolan, and they have a way of collaborating. I think it could not be more perfect.
Yeah,
I'm excited for where they're taking
My only
Superman.
caveat, I just want to make clear, is that when he's not been with Nolan, except for that first Blade film, I've always been a little expecting, oh, this guy's great, he did Blade, and and I've always been a little let down. So
he's not
not necessarily directing the movie either. So.
It's possible, but the thing that is so encouraging for me is that I know that in his head, or it seems to me that in his head, the responsibility of delivering a Superman movie sits right.
Let me just.
Well, but so did that.
Let me
with
advocate
Bryan
the devil.
Singer.
I mean,
I don't know.
There's so many of. I think now we've learned. I feel like I've learned that lesson where I go to Comic-Con and we hear them talk about the project and how they are fanboys.
Yeah.
They really love it, and I feel like
What?
that
Like, for example?
fanboyism isn't really the guys writing X3, Zach Penn, and all those guys. Remember hearing it like them. We love the con. We wrote. I think. I actually don't have as much of a problem with Superman Returns, but we've chatted with some of the writers of Superman Returns, and of course I kind of dig that movie, but anyway.
Yes.
The first Hulk, James
I'm
Jamis,
excited.
huge geek.
I think this is a perfect choice.
Well, look, we're all excited until we see the movie.
Okay.
I mean, this, so we are here to play the name game. You saw it maybe in one of our intros, right?
Well, you really saw it in Inglourious Bastards.
Correct.
You saw a whole scene.
We were very
devoted to
inspired
it.
by that.
We
Yes.
were. All right.
So let's try it.
We're here.
You'll
You
see
have
what
one
we
already.
mean
I do.
when we start playing.
Now this can be
So it could be fictional,
fictional,
or real.
a character or a person.
Just kind of like celebrities, basically.
Yeah. Let's see how this goes. This plays out, as it were. I'm going to write.
I just determined by the sound of your scratching exactly what it is.
What do you think it is?
No,
I
don't.
know, I'm just kidding.
Don't look.
I'm so excited to see.
Did you see?
Nope.
Okay.
Amazing.
I put it on your eyebrows. Yeah, rip out hairs.
Amazing. Okay, I have one.
I think you spelled that wrong.
It doesn't matter. Let's go round robin.
All right.
Starting with me, I guess.
Yes.
All right. Is mine a male?
Yes.
Yes.
Awesome.
Is.
You better.
Greasy forehead.
Yeah, this is bad. I gotta get
I
some
need to
tape.
exfoliate.
I need
Exfoliate.
Am I a fictional character?
Nope.
Go on. I mean, go on. What else am I?
Am I in a movie from the 80s?
No.
Am I a fictional character?
Yes.
Yes.
Am I a man, baby?
Yes.
Yes. Am I in a movie?
No.
No.
Am I a superhero?
Interesting
question.
That's gonna screw him up. Our reaction to that. No,
It
you're
is-
not.
No, you're not. That is gonna screw him up.
Yeah, I know.
No, you're
Don't
not.
think
It's
about
already
that.
screwed me up.
Don't think about that at all. Am I an actor?
Yes.
Interesting.
Am I in a video game?
No.
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 Not
The
that- not that
answer
any of
is
us-
no.
Yeah, the answer is no.
Okay, I won't let that fuck me up.
Am I primarily from a movie?
Yes.
Okay.
Was I in a popular 80s movie?
Yes.
Yeah.
Am I a real person?
No.
Am I in a movie that we have reviewed on this show?
No.
No. Was I in Tron?
No.
2 people off the list.
Oh, am I in a comic book?
No.
No.
Am I in a movie from the 80s?
Yes.
Yes.
Was I an action hero in the 80s?
No.
I could be am I an animal?
Yes.
Yes-ish.
Yes. Yes.
Yes.
I have some other questions. That's
Good.
I hope you have a bunch.
Yeah.
Am I in a TV show?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, I'm an
Ding,
animal.
ding, 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 ding. Am I in a comedy?
No. I mean,
Well, yeah, but 80s were all about crossovers.
The comedy is not the main genre,
but it
the
is
subgenre of
the movie.
yeah.
Was I in The Karate Kid?
No. Am I a Muppet
Yes.
or puppet? Like that? Yeah.
Was I in Back to the Future?
Yes.
Weird that you went there.
Why?
I don't know. There's so many. There could have been a million.
Yeah, I just guessed like 4.
Am
like I'm far.
Am I in Sesame Street?
No.
No, good, interesting.
Am I in Tron?
He's almost there. No.
No. Am I Christopher Lloyd?
No. He just has to.
It's a process of elimination.
yeah. So we're in a race here. Am I from the Muppets?
No.
But a TV show, not a movie.
Hey man, let your brain go.
Let your brain go.
a
I don't
movie.
feel like I'm close at all.
Am I Crispin Glover?
Yes.
Yeah, just wait. Oh, good work. Booyah, booyah.
Good
I
job.
wins,
Yeah,
he
you
winsies.
you did good.
Am I Alf?
No.
Okay. Wait. Am I a cartoon?
No.
Okay.
Is he still alive? The actor who plays this person?
No idea.
No idea.
Probably.
Probably.
But I have no idea.
No idea.
For some reason, I'm
think.
blanking on other Muppet things.
Yeah, that's
Yes,
what's
you are.
happening.
Yeah.
Yes, you are.
You are going to be embarrassed.
I know.
You are.
Are there any famous actors in this show?
No.
Am I in The Last Starfighter?
No.
No.
Is it a popular
Yes.
show?
Yeah.
Is my show entirely Muppets?
Yes, mostly.
Mostly.
Am I in Mr. Rogers' Neighborhood?
No.
Does the theme song to the show I appear on go da na 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 da na 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 na? Time to get away.
Yes.
Worries for another day.
Yes,
Let
to that
music
question.
play.
Yes. It took a while for you to get the tune right, but yes.
Yeah, and that's the corner.
Now you're.
Jeff,
now
the
you-
Problem
now
is,
you win.
here's the problem. I don't know any character names from the show, 100%. Am I the main character from the show? He's got
Yes.
like red.
Yeah.
I don't know his name. Is
What's his last
something
name?
Fraggle?
There you go. It was Gobo Fraggle.
I never in a million years would have known.
Well, still, it's good.
I'm the big loser.
That was good. That was
the
good. I
biggest
like-
loser.
Come on, here we go. All you, speed round.
I got nothing, man. Was it an early 80s movie? As opposed to a
No.
late?
It's exactly mid 80s.
Is it a movie about. I got nothing, man. I'm just really gagging. Is this character a sidekick?
Sort of.
Yes. Yeah.
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 Is this from the Goonies?
Yes.
Is it Chunk?
No.
Is it the sloth guy?
Yeah.
Yeah! Successful head
Woo,
games.
that was rough. You know, it's a game that's super. It's a game that's really fun, but you feel like an
fun.
idiot.
Yeah.
It's when
But
there's
when everybody
there's
else
more
gets to
people.
feeling an idiot too.
I
I
honestly-
didn't know if I knew much
And
about
how do you
him.
not know about Gobo Fraggle? Come on.
I just don't know their names.
All right, here we go. Rockin'.
Gobo
Okay, just-
Fraggle.
Reload. We get to talk about a video game this week that we have been looking forward to, I think, as a show for quite some time. Dan and I were big fans, salivating over every morsel of information about Heavy Rain, which is the new game from David Cage and Quantic Dream, who are a Paris, France-based game development studio that delivered a game in the early 2000s, I think it was 2002, called Indigo Prophecy in North America, and it was called Fahrenheit in other parts of the world. But it was the first time that they tried out this sort of new take on a genre that, frankly, in the 80s was the basically what first-person shooters are now. It was the dominant, popular AAA kind of genre, and that is the adventure game. You know, back when I was a kid, the games that got all the money and got all the all the attention were these adventure games, point-and-click adventure games. You know, from Sierra and LucasArts and those have sort of died out a little bit. But this is a resurgence, I think, in that genre, and the gameplay is unlike anything I think most people have played before. And basically, you are participating in a murder mystery story in Heavy Rain. It's following the origami killer. And it's very much a thriller like you would find in a modern novel, where you have many different characters all trying to race against time to find out who the origami killer is and save a little boy that has been kidnapped by the killer. And the way you play the game is you're in different situations with these characters, and they use the controller to simulate various actions that you do on screen. So in a way, it's a little bit like a QuickTime event that you might find in God of War, but actually not really, because the controller itself is used in a manner that those games don't even attempt. The combinations of button presses, the way those things are communicated to you is completely unique, and I would say completely single-handedly justifies the inclusion of 6-axis in the PS3. It's the first time that really there's any reason to have it in any of these games.
Flower.
Right.
But you're right, I agree with you.
Okay, well,
Yes.
I know you and I, Dan, have been salivating, like I said, over this game, but what? There's glands in the back of your...
No, I have not.
Right, you didn't play
Yes.
Indigo Prophecy,
Nope.
and you sort of were disinterested in...
I mean, I knew it was going to be interesting.
Which means impartial, not uninterested,
Yeah,
which is two different words.
I knew it was going to be an interesting experience. So, what did I think of Heavy Rain? Well, first I will say it starts painfully slow. And I'm not one who gets sucked into the stories of games. I'm one who enjoys the sort of game mechanics of games more than the stories. The stories are cool, and they kind of keep me interested from story point to story point so that I can play the game mechanic.
Yeah, you're one of those guys that clicks through cutscenes.
Yes, right. Unless
This game.
well,
It's a cutscene.
well, so this game had a big uphill battle for me because I'm, and like I said, the whole beginning story scenes were painfully long. And it's a lot of walking and brushing your teeth, and then walking and putting on a shirt, and I get that why that is part of the game, and it helps get you comfortable with what the game mechanic is going to be. It's a hard game to review because halfway through the game I kind of felt like I don't feel like I'm playing a video game. This does not feel like a video game to me.
Well, David Cage, who's the designer of the game, says it's not a video game.
I
It's
would
something
agree
else.
with it. I would agree with him 100%. And that was one of the main things, was that I never once felt like I'm playing a video game. That said, the experience of playing this game, of experiencing the story, was really unbelievable and extreme. I mean, I tore through the game in like a day and a half. And know more about the story in this game than any game I've ever played. I mean, for the most part, games I'm like, oh yeah, when you had to jump over the thing, that was really cool. Or the scene where the train thing hit the thing, that was really cool. In this, after it was done, I actually had to call Dan because the way the game ended for me was completely not satisfying. Mm-hmm. and I was frustrated with the ending, because I was in a situation.
Well, I want to do a little spoiler stuff at the end of this.
Okay,
so.
but just to finish out the sort of overarching review, I needed to call Dan because I wanted to know, is this what the game was supposed to be?
Right.
And found out that that's not at all what the game could have been.
Could
and
have
that
been,
it was
but
my
it was
points.
for you.
It was
That's
for me.
your story that you lived.
No, totally.
Right.
And that's one thing that through talking to Dan and kind of going, well, what happened here? Or, oh, that character wasn't even with me, or this thing doesn't
This is
even
exactly
happen.
the conversation I want to have.
Yes, but
so.
it has a lot to do with, without spoiling, has a lot to do with how I think this game has really, really changed the whole genre of playing games. Now, I wouldn't want to play these games every day. I wouldn't want these games to replace Modern Warfare or, Star Trek Online, but it's a great experience to have in between all of those things. It was really fun. I was shocked.
Yeah.
No, you had very high expectations.
Very
for
high
this.
expectations. I did not play Indigo Prophecy when it came out. I played it because you said it's a must-play, still good, even if you just play it now. I played it a year ago. Despite bad graphics, that game is brilliant. And you can download it.
Flawed, I would say, but brilliant.
Well, here's the thing, and I twittered, I said, Heavy Rain is identical to Indigo Prophecy, yet opposite. The
And you meant by that?
I've been waiting to hear what you meant by
Actually,
that.
before I get to that, I want to say, before I even tell you how I feel about the game,
I need to push down and around.
My intellectual opinion is, aside from how I feel, this is one of the greatest games ever made, or greatest things, interactive experiences ever made. Period.
It's
That's
a sort of
there.
a seminal work in the history of video games, is what you're saying.
Exactly. On top of that, I loved the game. So Indigo Prophecy starts with a bang. And Heavy Rain takes a good 5 hours or half the game to get to the point where Indigo Prophecy starts. And almost the same kind of sequence. And the ending of Indigo Prophecy is terrible. It's that good a game that it's not even just not as good as the beginning, it's a terrible ending.
Yeah.
Heavy Rain has a phenomenal ending, or end half of the game, and starts off very slow. So that was my identical, but they're very similar games. They explore very similar
clear that
territory.
David Cage has
an obsession with things.
certain things. Yeah.
What I said
was it
about
origami? I didn't play Indigo Prophecy.
what I said
Origami
about
dogs?
What I said about Uncharted and Uncharted 2 are tripledly true for this game. We can talk about this as a movie separate from what we can talk about as a game. It's certainly not 7 or it's not as good as 7 or Silence of the Lambs, but it's far superior to The Bone Collector or whatever as a serial killer movie that I experienced.
I want to take issue with that because I anticipated you saying that.
Okay.
And I definitely agree that Uncharted and Uncharted 2 are interactive movies.
Yeah.
But I don't think this is a movie at all. I think if anything, I think it's something else. But if it's close to
I don't
anything,
disagree with
it's a
this.
novel. Because it doesn't play like a movie at all.
Or a miniseries.
No, it plays like you're reading a thriller novel, like one of those dime store novels.
I was
Could be
surprised
a
at
little
how
bit,
much
but
I felt like I was playing one of those old Sierra games.
Yeah.
I mean, halfway through, I was like, this feels exactly like it felt when I was like, I found the key on the ground, but so much more intuitive. The one thing I will say is, I don't think it's a perfect game at all. The fact that the cutscenes are so, and the fluid action of the interactive moments are so great, and then you turn into this dead corpse and you make odd, weird, crazy movements, and it takes you so far out. It's so close to that uncanny valley that when two characters kiss and it looks like two weird dogs licking each other's face in like this weird like.
It's
dogs licking their face would be better than what they
I agree.
You get
It's
like
almost
boom, boom.
so good that it now has the same problems that the Zemeckis
Exactly.
pre-Avatar motion cap films have, and that the Dead Eyes. Now the performances, some of the performances suck, some of them are unbelievable, And I think next is Mass Effect 2. It's like some of the best graphics I've ever seen.
Best set design of any video game ever.
The feeling of this game is like great.
Okay, I need to say two more things, important things. One, anyone that compares it to a Dragon's Lair or any QuickTime event has it wrong.
Missing the point.
It is an extension of the text adventures.
Right.
Same thing with Indigo Prophecy, the things that you're doing make you feel like the character feels at that moment.
Yeah.
There's a great sequence in Indigo Prophecy where you're weightlifting and you have to like do a series of, and like you feel like exhausted, like the dude on the screen, you know, like it really puts you in that mindset.
So tense, some of those sequences. I
Also,
was hitting buttons with my tongue.
yeah.
I had like 4 down and I was like, no! I was like, no, it can't be another one!
Brilliant. It's not like everything is a button press and a shake. It's like when you need to contort
So
your
you heard
body.
it from Alex. It's finger licking good.
It is finger licking.
When you need to contort your body, you're in the game, your character, your fingers are contorting on the controller.
Yeah.
When you need to wake someone up, you are shaking that controller.
Yeah.
When you need to shoot someone, you are snapping your freaking hands on that like a trigger. What I've always wanted to play in all the games we've had now, Grand Theft Auto 4, Fable, whatever, with moral choices and things split off in branches, this game gives you moments where in the smaller moments where you could really do a number of things.
Yeah.
And there's not one story that you're playing and it's a matter of, and Indigo Prophecy was like this. Or it's not like, oh, I effed up hitting that button. Well, now I have to go back again and do that thing until I
just played out differently.
And it just played out differently for you. So much so that the ending of this game for me, my girlfriend watched me play the entire game. If something happened in the game where in any other video game, she would have been mad at the game for being that way. She was mad at me because and she had every right to be. I screwed up. I made a mistake, and therefore the story happened in a way that was very upsetting.
And the
that was my fault.
The genius of that, the genius of this game, I think, among several geniuses, but the genius of this game is that you never save your game. There's never an opportunity to go back and redo something. You are playing, you're living this moment, and what you do is what you do. And there are half a dozen points in this game where if it was any other game, I would go, ah, crap, I'm gonna load my save game. I don't want it to go this way.
Yeah.
But this game doesn't allow that, and that creates such a commitment level that when the S starts hitting the F, I am sitting up in my seat like, okay, I don't want to screw this up. This is intense town, you know. And there are
and you
such
make mistakes.
incredible.
That's the best part is you make mistakes that have horrible consequences, and you're like, I guess we're just going this way. I mean, it's like nothing happens. Like,
That's actually my only problem with the game is that there are legitimate times where I didn't react quick enough, like the guy in that situation wouldn't react quick enough, or I made a decision that I later regretted, but I made that decision. There were some times where the game did not make a clear statement of what I was choosing.
You were making. Yeah,
Like, and it was just
Alex
and I thought we both had the same instance, and that sort of bummed me out that I didn't choose to make that choice, and I didn't fail to make the right choice. I mistakenly hit a button that...
The other wonderful thing about this game, and I agree with you guys, it's a game that if you care about video games as a genre, you have to experience it because it really is blazing a path that no one has.
to experience.
Yeah. But the other wonderful, wonderful thing about this game is that unlike most adventure games or any of these where you sort of give you a puzzle, it requires you to actually think, to actually remember stuff.
Yeah.
Oh God, yeah.
Which games never force you to do, never ask of you. This game asks you to go, hey, remember in that scene, what color was that kid's shirt? And you go, oh crap, I didn't pay attention because maybe the guy in that situation didn't pay attention, or you know, and if I had been sharper, if I had been, you know, it's wonderful. It's a wonderful feeling of
and putting
immersion
clues together.
Yeah.
Too, when you have to put clues together, you actually have to use the skills like Tommy Lee Jones would in The Fugitive. You know, you have to use those
and
skills.
games never they pretend to do that, and but you just do the next thing that you need to do, and it's all done for you.
That's right.
This game actually asks that of the player, and it's so special and it feels so wonderful. Now,
I fear there is a possibility that people will pick this game up, play the first hour, and go, I didn't like that game.
See, I love the way it starts slow because you just do. No game makes you do these mundane activities.
Yeah,
and there's
I never had to pee in a video game
But
before.
I'll tell you right now, if I wasn't reviewing this game, I would have put the controller down. 100%. And that's why I'm like, what I will say to you guys, if you're a me, amazing. And you're like, oh, I don't want to fucking take another leak, or I put, my brush, I'm going to put it down, or I don't want to do this, I don't want to deal with the groceries. Deal with the groceries, get to the let the S hit the F before you decide whether you like this game or not.
But in the opening sequence, you could see through windows and see like the suburbs. And what game is set in the suburbs, by the way?
I know, it's wonderful.
I know.
Now, put up the spoiler cam real quick. I just want to, because I want to have this conversation with you guys really bad.
Yeah.
First of all, apologies to Mike.
Oh, he's playing. Yeah. Take off the earbuds. Seriously.
Well,
dude.
do we have?
We can-
we don't have to have this on camera, right? Because people probably haven't played it yet.
Well, it's been out for a week.
Spoilers.
All right.
The spoiler cam.
Mike does a wonderful tab now.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
So, first of all, I want to say I've never had a game where I wanted to fail. In the beginning, when you're having a sword fight with your son and you keep whacking him in the head, and I was like,
I'd let him get me.
Me too.
Yeah.
And how many games you're like?
Fuck yeah.
All right.
I was learning the mechanic. I had to
happened?
figure it out.
And another thing I want to talk about that's a very specific spoiler thing is
I'd like to know your
and please
answer.
skip this if you haven't played the game yet.
Yeah.
As the detective with the glasses, which is awesome by the way,
Yeah,
the
totally.
whole freaking thing.
Yeah.
I accidentally killed the guy.
Killed what guy?
Me too. The cross. He was pulling a cross out.
Yeah,
He
I
didn't do
shot
that.
him.
I shot him too.
And I felt terrible.
Me too. I didn't want to play with him
See,
anymore.
here's the thing.
I did not want to return to that character.
It was amazing.
I didn't talk him down.
Yeah.
I saw him
You
have
just
the gun,
shot him?
and he was started to get like he was gonna shoot him. So I was like, "Fuck that, bang!"
But tell him what happened. And then that was a good thing, right?
Yeah, he was like, "Oh,
for
great, he
us-
was gonna kill me."
Yeah. For us,
They
we
did
talked him
not
down,
do the
right?
talk
Yeah, I talked him down, and then he went to the cross.
You think the story is how you talked him down, so you thought things were cool,
Yeah.
and then he really accidentally killed the guy. So you go, "Oh no, you don't!"
No,
And then-
no. I literally accidentally hit the right trigger.
Yeah.
I mean,
no,
like a
was
real
like-
cop might
no,
do.
Me like
Yeah.
a real cop, I went, "He's got a gun!" Boom, and then it was just
Crazy.
a
Like
cross.
that has never happened to me. I felt so, and then
Mike is like, "I'm done. I can't." I don't
and the
know.
finger part, like
Yeah.
having to take deep breaths,
Yeah.
and like this game has made me feel like no game has ever made me feel. I was.
Did you survive?
Sweat and.
Yeah, what was your
no,
ending?
I was killed by the police.
Yeah, me too.
Because I falsely accused the wrong guy. I falsely accused the wrong guy of the crime.
What?
Yeah.
That's amazing.
You know who actually?
Yeah.
Well, you must, yeah. I know.
Anyway, we'll have more conversation, but what was your
Did the
ending?
chick in the car die? That's what I
I
want
don't
to know.
wanna-
Did the chick in the car die?
Yeah, she died in a fiery explosion for me.
What?
Yeah.
We got to talk about that later. That's for later. Amazing. All right, before we get to our email, we do want to thank our sponsors, Squarespace.com. If you haven't checked out Squarespace.com, you must check out Squarespace.com. It's a super amazing place to host your website. If you have any need for a website, it's a super amazing. It's an amazing place to host your website. If you have any need for a website, head over to Squarespace.com. They have the best, easiest WYSIWYG editor you've ever seen. Unbelievable stuff. Really pro template designs already done. Super easy. And not only that, if you have a website already, a blog or whatever, you can use the importer tool to bring all of the data from your site into Squarespace. One snap, quickie, dippy, doom. Amazing, right? And not only that, if you use the coupon code TRS when you check out, that's TRS, you get an additional 10% off the entire lifetime of your website. Check it out at squarespace.com.
You should definitely check out Gamefly as well, especially if you love video games.
He's just zooming in on you. Go for it.
Oh, good. Gamefly is a place that allows you to pay one low monthly fee, something like $15.95 a month, and then you can get a new game in the mail as often as you want. You play the game you've got.
Yep.
As soon as you're done with it, you send it back. They send you the next one in your queue, and you constantly have an influx of video games for that one set low monthly fee.
That's
now,
cool.
if you find that you want to keep that game forever, you can pay a reduced price because you're already paying the monthly fee, and they give you the packaging and all that stuff, and you get to keep that game forever, and they send you the next one. So go to gamefly.com/TTRS. You get a 2-week free trial, so you can check it out.
Yeah.
And GoDaddy.com is where you go to get your domain name. I went and got the domain name to my cool new website, onecoolthingaday.com. Please go.
Correct.
It's pretty cool.
I just bought one myself, a domain name.
All right. Did you go to GoDaddy?
I did go to
All
GoDaddy.
right. GoDaddy.com is.
Oh, I didn't use a coupon code.
I did.
You're a moron.
I did.
Come on,
I
that's
totally
a problem.
remember
How many
that.
times have you told people to do that?
I know, and I bought 2-3 domains. I should.
All right, don't be Alex.
Don't be me.
Well, don't be Alex. Go to revision3.com/GoDaddy to see a list of all the promo codes you could use.
Yeah.
I recommend TRS10. You get a .com domain for $7.49.
Would have been awesome. Would have been awesome.
Been awesome. They also are doing some crazy dedicated server thing. Do you know about that?
Great. No, sounds
Yeah.
good though.
You can choose from 3 different situations. It's pretty cool. Head over to GoDaddy.com.
Also, you left and you walked over there and you came
that's
back
what you
with
came
no
back with.
further
Really,
information.
I don't get computers.
Don't. It's okay. Don't worry about it. GoDaddy.com.
It's a your own virtual dedicated server. Sounds pretty awesome to have something dedicated to you, like a
Virtually.
server. Choose one of 3 popular plans or select your own Linux or Windows server with all the plan options you need.
There it is.
Hey.
You heard it here first, gentlemen and lady. Also, if you haven't checked out App Judgment, Revision 3's mobile app review show, they cover iPhone app, Android apps, BlackBerry apps, all the kinds of apps you can get. Head over to revision3.com/appjudgment, and also they're going 5 days a week, so Monday through Friday, apps.
Salante.
Let's get to our email, shall we? All right, the other week, Jeff and Alex were talking about how much they love Ghostbusters. This is true.
Could have been any week.
Could have been any week.
Really, honestly?
Really,
We
it was
talk about
probably
that all the
every
time.
week. Just wanted to let you know that that's my mom's favorite movie. Not just
Hey,
because
your mom.
it's an amazing movie, and it should be everyone's favorite movie. Agreed. But because my dad proposed to my mom after they saw it on what my mom thought was to be a typical dinner and a movie date. Amazing. Amazing.
That's, she's like, clear your mind from all thoughts, clear your mind from all thoughts. What are you thinking about? Marrying you.
You're like, oh no, seriously, was it Slimer?
It's the Stay Puft Marshmallow Man.
So my question is, what is the most romantic, geeky thing you've ever done? As always, keep up the great work. Can't wait for each new show every week. Jared Montgomery from Flagstaff, Arizona. Good question, Jared.
Yeah, romantic geeky things. It's funny. When I was in high school, it occurs to me that maybe the marriage proposal went like this. I just have to say this because that one wasn't very good. How about, will you marry me, Dana? There is no Dana, only Zool. Better?
Good.
Is her name Dana?
Nope.
No, but I'm confusing. Okay, when I was in high school, there was a girl that I was really into, and I had a computer. And it's hard, I think, for young people today to realize how few people in 1993, 1994 had computers.
Yep.
It's very difficult for me to understand that. People don't get that, because everyone has a computer now, but I was one of the few. And I had a sound card, which was also quite rare.
Oh boy.
And I had the ability to edit audio, which very rare. I edited them.
Dana, I love you.
Only do. Only do. Yes, my rapping career started then. So you know, this predates MP3. There was no such thing as MP3.
All waves.
Right? Wave. Well, it was predated wave files. It was .voc is what I worked in.
Oh yeah, the VOC file. Yeah.
Right. So I recorded several songs.
Fuck? Sorry.
Yeah, like what the fuck was I doing? I recorded several songs and edited them. These are all songs that I cared deeply for. Edited them into
A passionate montage.
into a message using the lyrics.
What were the songs? A. What was the message?
Not
B.
gonna tell you.
Too many
Not
and
gonna
too
tell
many.
you.
Could you do a rendition for us? No.
Yeah.
If you believe.
But it was like it was. I was pouring my heart out. Yes. I believe. I don't even want to say some of the songs because you guys will never.
Only go, Stacy. To the end.
No. Dude, you don't understand. It wasn't like a string of. It was like
a song.
It was like little sections that were like you are the like a freaking mess.
Amazing.
Like
That's
cutting out
awesome.
a magazine.
That's
Yeah,
awesome.
yeah. So it was the audio serial killer.
Hours. Audio serial killer.
Everything I want you carpet.
Yeah, no, we got it. How many are you
Except
gonna
that
do?
you can't even make a sentence.
You're like, I think there was a magic carpet
You're
in
such
there.
a wizard with that. Jack.
All right.
Oh my goodness.
Let me just
Anyway,
finish this friggin'
how
story
did
so
this
you guys
person
can
like-
never stop making fun of
How
me.
did this person like?
Hours of my life onto a cassette tape, right?
Oh.
This is how I had to do it.
Cyan.
And how I did that?
Yeah.
I held the computer speaker up to the microphone.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So high quality
She
fidelity.
never listened to it.
What? Why?
She was not a nice girl. Yeah, threw it in the garbage. Never listened to it.
What?
Yep.
That's horrible.
push her
Were
or
you
something?
dating?
So that's why my heart is a giant scab.
Were you dating at the time?
And what's her name
It was
now?
like on
so
and
screw
on
you,
again.
Jenny Beckham.
Actually, it was Jenny, and she's married and has kids now with.
Yeah. So she loses. I don't know what that means. I don't know what that means.
Never listened to it.
Wow.
It
could've been a
still
different
hurts.
Canada.
It still
And now
hurts.
no
I get
one
that.
will
Still
ever
hurts.
listen to it.
What geeky stuff? Go.
Doesn't compare. Well, I think the most romantic geeky thing I've ever done, I've yet to do, but
I've yet to do.
That
I've
doesn't
got
count.
plans. I've got plans. But
Oh.
but
my
one thing I
God.
did that I talked about before, kind of, you know how like I had that quiz.
Yes.
Right.
The put in the tape, and if you can identify
Yeah.
these songs, then you're a keeper.
Well, I wasn't in the 80s, so it was on my iPod, but it was
weren't-
MP3.
you weren't
It was
dating when you were
MP3s
6?
You were referring to. Put in my vote,
had
my
mine on
.bach
Laserdisc.
files. I put in the Laserdisc in my car, and so I took a girl that I fancied. She was visiting me out in.
He does Laserdisc and then he eats Mama Celeste.
I took her.
double-
Yeah,
it's double
Dan does love Mama
I
Celeste.
love Mama Celeste, face up and face down. So we That's it. Don't tell Mom. Maybe it's his dad.
Mama Celeste.
Face up.
Mama Celeste is like, you don't look at me, I cut you. What do you want face up?
All right, so I'm taking this girl who's visiting me out in LA. I'm playing her my quiz.
mix.
The first songs of which are The Karate Kid, where in which the movie do they fall? And
tough quiz.
We drive to Leo Carrillo Beach in Malibu, which is the beach in Karate Kid where
Wow.
they
That's a lot of pressure for a
play
girl. A lot of
soccer.
pressure.
And then we go to golf and stuff, which
Yeah.
is where he and Allie with an I, Daniel with an L, and Allie with an I go out on a date. And
Did she get it and
it's
appreciate
they're
it?
still in Norwalk. She got it. She was into me, so she appreciated that. You know.
So she watched it over and over again in
And then,
anticipation of his test.
At the
threw it
end
in
of
the
this,
trash.
at the end of this date,
Yes.
Dan kicked her in the face.
I just want to do one more
Well,
thing.
I got kicked in the face by some punky blonde kid.
What? I'm sorry I was there. We were so nice.
all right, all right.
So for me, mine's quick and easy, which is, again, it's a lot like in college. I had the opportunity to be able to record sounds, and because I actually knew what computers were all about, I could adjust the Windows sounds of people's computers.
Oh, cool.
So I put up my voice saying things.
You've got love.
Yeah, it was a lot like that. But my voice saying, God, now thinking about it, how stupid was this? But I put little like things when like something with
When
like
her
she put-
flying toasters went by.
Oh, it was not a Mac. Come on. Windows
PC.
3.1.
It was on PC.
Flying
too.
Toaster Rolls?
Yeah, it was Autodesk.
Oh no, it was After Dark.
After Dark.
Yes.
By
Forgot
Autodesk,
about
wasn't
that.
it? I could be wrong.
I don't know, but After
They might
Dark,
have
for sure.
done.
Anyway.
I had to
So-
buy
so
that.
when-
I know,
what
you
happened?
have to buy screensavers. to
Yeah.
get it. So she loved it and used it until we broke up, and then I
What
had
were
to-
some of the sounds?
She actually asked me to come and take them off.
That's an awkward
I
moment.
was like,
Hilarious!
well, because who's she gonna get? Who has computers?
Hilarious.
You ruined my computer.
You should have
Can
not
you get my
done that.
computer did not say.
If she broke up with you, you should have left that on there.
Nah, I could have, but
Yeah.
I kind of. All right.
Good question.
Great question. If you'd like to have your question answered on the show, please feel free to send it to fans@totallyradshow.com, not the totally made up address that we had in our 80s
We
episode.
have to apologize. Yes, it was completely fake, and sending $5 to that episode will not get anything
let's just
for
say
anyone.
that
Hopefully-
envelope was a blank envelope with blank paper, and I made up all of the stuff that came out of my mouth.
Despite the fact that we actually do have an address that you could have just said.
we do. But we don't want people sending us letters. Well, we like letters and shirts.
And shirts, we got that at our address. But if you want to send us a background,
Yes.
like Matthew did, please send it to fans@totallyradshow.com. We love getting those backgrounds. We love featuring them on our show, and that would be the place to send them.
Correct.
Indeed.
All right, people.
Indeed.
Well, that is it for this week's edition of the Totally Rad Show.
I
I'm
need a
Alex
thing. Can we
Albrecht.
come up with a
Canada.
thing for me? One cool thing a day.
Take amazing.
You can tell them about the blog or lots of things.
I
lots of
mean,
things.
We'll come.
On this week's Totally Rad show, we're talking about Cop out?
Don't point.
You almost did it, and I was like, don't
Yeah.
do it.
We're also playing some head games.
That's a winner. Hey guys, I have a question for you.
Got an answer for you.
What's a pirate's favorite
Left.
letter? What's a pirate's favorite letter?
What?
R. No, it's the C.
Oh.
Why did,
Alright.
Oh, we're doing this. All
Oh,
right.
okay.
well, you started it. Why did Snoop Dogg carry an umbrella? He was worried about the drizzle. Winner.
Alex, go ahead.
So an angel is talking to God and said, look, I know you're all knowing and I know you're all powerful, but if you don't say who's there, knock-knock jokes don't work.
Something?
That's a thinker.
It's a thinker. It's a thinker.
Wait, hold
You'll get it
on,
on the
I'm
way
not-
home.
I'm not
You'll get it on the way
there
home.
yet.
On the way home, you'll be like,
Just
oh!
This
Amazing! I did it.